Good morning. Day 516 since 59 hostages have been brutally, barbarically, violently, and inhumanely were kidnapped to the hell called Gaza by the inhumane, barbaric, rapist, modern-day Nazis monsters of Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, UNRWA, and the UN, and the Red Cross, and just ordinary, regular, innocent Palestinians. We are here every morning, never giving up until all of them will be released. Let our people go now, unconditionally, in one phase, in one bus. That's what we demand. No more selection between Jews, no more some people left behind while they're releasing just a few, begging for crumbs. All 59 hostages out of there, and Hamas and all the terrorist organization in Gaza surrender. They can no longer rule Gaza, govern Gaza as they wish. Join us with the pressure on these fucking monsters to surrender and let all 59 hostages go at once. The Arab League, basically a bunch of Arab countries that claiming that they care for the Palestinian people, yet they won't lift a finger for them. They're not gonna relocate refugees or do anything of that sort. They're putting all pressure on Israel. They met in Cairo for a summit to come up with a plan to present to Trump after he declared that Gaza would not stay the same, that Palestinians will have to be relocated from Gaza and Hamas could no longer stay in power. So the Egyptian made up this plan, everyone voted on it, or I don't know, they found an agreement and presented to the White House a plan for reconstruction of Gaza with $50 billion over X amount of years, and blah blah blah. No mention of Hamas being removed from power. For them, they're allowing Hamas to stay. Egypt, Qatar, they support Hamas. The White House rejected this plan. We will not live side by side with the terrorist monsters who invaded Israel on October 7 and massacred in the most brutal ways possible. Thousands of people, raped the women in the most brutal ways possible while cheering and laughing about it. And then kidnapped 251 of our people and still holding 59 of them for 516 days while torturing them and abusing them and humiliating them and abusing us and torturing us in the same process. We would not allow it. Israel finished the ceasefire and they starting new tactics of first of them is to prevent from any humanitarian aid and goods to go into Gaza. That's the first step, hoping that this will put enough pressure for Hamas to break down. But Hamas, they stockpile all of the humanitarian aid that went in so far. And trust me, don't trust me, trust them, there's no famine in Gaza. There is no starvation in Gaza. They have plenty of food in Gaza for months to come. They're good. For them, they will stay with whatever they have now for months, and then in a few months, they will start pressuring, they've already been lying to the world about the starvation and famine, starving children. Bernie Sanders is saying that Israel is committing a war crime, starving children. What about the war crime of 59 hostages being stolen from their homes, from their beds, from a music festival, and being held captive in the dungeons, going through daily torture? What about them, Bernie Sanders? That's not a war criminal. Anyone who's going against Israel with this specific situation right now with the humanitarian aid, it doesn't call out Hamas to release the hostages is a fucking hypocrite, and they should be dismissed. I don't give a fuck what they have to say. Release the hostages if you want food. Release the hostages if you want electricity and water. Release the hostages if you want to live. Release the fucking hostages now. We will continue to advocate for Israel to live in peace. We can no longer live with these monsters side by side. These monsters. We're not the same. It's not that we can ever find a middle ground. It's not that we can meet them halfway. Fucking no. These are inhumane, barbaric, modern-day Nazis monsters. They're even worse than the monsters. They're even worse than the Nazis. This is what they indoctrinate their children, full of hate against the Jews. And there is no other solution besides them being gone. That's the solution. We cannot live side by side with them any longer, and we would not live side by side with them any longer. The war will resume to ensure that Hamas is being wiped off from the face of the earth. And Israel will continue to defend ourselves with whatever means necessary. We came back to our homeland to live, and we will do so. We will remain living in our homeland, Israel, in our ancestral homeland, Israel, from the Jordan River through the Mediterranean, from the Jordan River through Judea and Samaria to the Mediterranean Sea. Am Israel will always be. Am Israel Chai forever.